Hi everyone, and welcome to episode 4 of the League of Disruptors show. My name is Ketan. I'm from Enterprise Lab, and the League of Disruptors show is all about putting the spotlight on the geniuses of experts and business owners. Today we have Parwinder Dale online who will be talking to us about transformation, working on things that you love and stuff. A little bit about Parwinder. She's known as the upgrader, and I'll let her explain that to you, what that actually means. From working as a professional NLP coach, she really works with people on helping them break through the procrastination that they have in the rut of their lives and really start to work on the things that they love. So, without further ado, Parwinder, welcome to the League of Disruptors show.
Hello, thank you for having me on, Ketan. Really excited to be here.
I know, it's really, really cool. So, tell the world more about Parwinder Dale.
Parwinder Dale. So it's been a year this month actually, that I've started working for myself. So it's been a really exciting time. And I've just recently looked at myself and been called as the upgrader. Mm-hmm. Reason why the upgrader is, we upgrade our phones, we upgrade our wardrobes, we go on holiday, but when do we upgrade our minds? And sometimes we always have the same saying, I'm not good enough, I'm too old, I'm too fat, I'm too skinny. But we kind of need to let go of those beliefs and say, I'm not good enough. So we can just tweak our mind, change your world by tweaking your mind, change your thinking. So upgrading sounds great to me.
The upgrader, I mean, sounds like, you got the Terminator and then you've got the upgrader. So I like this. I like this whole thing about, changing your perceptions to change your mind, which then helps you sort of change the actions that you take. So take me through a little bit of how did you come about to this kind of point of becoming an upgrader?
It gets to the point because I think in life we want to enjoy it, and it always gets to the point, what's your legacy, what do you want to leave behind? In my last job, I worked with a lot of police officers that were retiring, and when they retired, they were doing the things they loved doing, what they didn't have to do they did before. But even being in the police force, when they were working as, they loved being police officers. And it comes to the point that even when they went home, they used to read about everything about policing. And then I kind of realised that I went home and never read about policing unless I had to. So that's not something I loved. It was something I enjoyed, but not I loved. And so I'm thinking, it's always believing in. So I've always been, what do you love doing? And most of my jobs I've had, I've always enjoyed them. I loved them to the point. And when I stopped loving them, I knew it was time to move on. And that's working in retail, working for my uncle in the shop, where he used to make me pack boxes, and I'm like, why are you making me do this? But it was a lesson learned, because it just grew my confidence. So it's always loving what you do, and I always believe that, because if you love what you do, you have better relationships, better health, everything, and how you see the world is in a different sight. So if you don't love what you do and love how you're living your life, what's the point?
Yeah, no, I get you. I understand that completely. I mean, obviously, from packing boxes, in your uncle's business to the police force and stuff like this, it's quite easy when we discuss these kind of things about, do the things that you love and work on the things that you love. But sometimes people have this issue of, this is what I really want to do, but they feel that they're held back. I know you've gone through transitions in your life and in your experiences. I mean, I know when I read back up about your bio, I mean, you've got 12 years of public sector service. And I want to kind of dig into a little bit about the hamster wheel that people fall into, and the fact that, they become a slave to work, or they become a slave to just to be driven to earn money to live, and there's this whole imbalance of, well, what do I need to do, or how do I move into that environment of working on what I love? And do you have any thoughts on that?
Loads.
It's all up for you.
Well, to be honest, one of my main things I went to uni and I did politics. I wanted to do something that made a difference to people's lives, and I thought working in the public sector would enable me to do that. So that was my main driver, and I wanted a 9-to-5 job and working Monday to Friday and having the weekends off. To a point that really worked for me, and I loved doing it. And then when things got big, when changes happening at work, restructuring, cutting staff and everything, it really kind of starts making you think uncomfortable, because whereas beforehand you're thinking everything's going to be okay, but things are not, because things are outside your control. And then you get demotivated, you don't get confidence. I once applied, we had to be restructured. I was the most open, confident going forward. I didn't get none of my jobs.
So the jobs. So obviously you're quite a confident person in that thing. You believed in the things that you wanted to do.
Yeah.
You got into that stage where you were applying for jobs that you believe are right for you, but you weren't getting the responses, or just
When I went for when we went for that restructure program, I went to that interview and I didn't perform my best. And when I got the news that I didn't get the job I wanted, it kind of broke me, if that makes sense, because it made me realise that, and I took a look at myself. I realised I was in the right frame of mind to go for that job. Fortunately, I was offered 2 other jobs, and I thought, actually, these make sense to me. I can kind of do them as stepping stones to go forward. And if you think about it, Telegraph recently had an article about over half the population workforce are unhappy in their work.
Over half the population of the workforce
are unhappy in their work.
Actually, I've got a statistic to add to that, actually.
Yeah.
I read this last year that actually it costs the UK economy almost £900 million a year for having the wrong people in the wrong jobs. And do you think part of that is actually to do with motivations? And as I say, you know, what you do today is you work on the things that you love. You know, what I really want to kind of delve into here is the fact that some people feel like they have to stand still because love comes later. Right now it's a necessity to pay bills and stuff like that. And when you talk about the applications and you weren't in the right mindset to go for those kind of jobs, naturally the output and the results were kind of in line with what was going on in your mind in that sense. So what is it that you did to sort of break through that, take control of that?
Well, I kind of decided things had to change, and I had to make some decisions. I got myself a mentor.
Interesting. We'll talk about those in a minute.
And then I kind of realised that my confidence wasn't, at that moment in time, wasn't great. So if I was going to go for anything else, I wasn't be successful. So I needed to work on myself and start doing the little things in life that I enjoyed doing, which was doing exercise, meeting up with friends, just doing little bit, build myself up, if that makes sense, in order to be in a better frame of mind. And during that time when I was having that restructure, it was 2008. The economy crashed and the private sector went crazy, and so I don't feel like I was in the same boat. Everybody was having some kind of stuff going on in their life, the bit by bit. So sometimes you can't recognise some of the good stuff in your own life. But seeing my friends and my colleagues having good stuff, like one of my friends wanted to get a house and she got a house mortgage ready, and one wanted to get married and she was getting married, having a baby. So do you know, all those kind of things started happening for other people.
I would probably take that as pressure. House, marriage, kids, come on.
It was their dreams. It was their
Fair
dreams.
enough.
And it was nothing to do with me, but seeing them happy made me realise, actually, that's opportunity and hope for me. And if I can celebrating their joy and their success, it's a good thing, because sometimes you can't see it within yourself in a round, but if you can see it in other people, that is one stepping in others.
That's a really interesting point you bring, Parwinder, because we talk a lot about people having to focus on what they want to do and not compare themselves to others. But what you're actually doing here is you're not comparing yourself to others. You're actually understanding and like you say, celebrating their joy and their happiness and what they're doing. And you're taking that as a stimulation to, well, if they can be happy and pursue what they want to, so could I. Is that the kind of thing that you do?
It's just like you can celebrate it. Things are moving up. Things are happening for me. I kind of just said, like, that's really good. And then there's something, a sign to show that, there's that something you want to do. There's an opportunity there, perhaps. So if you can see other people's success and joy and be part of that, that means things are opening up. The doors are opening, and then you probably start seeing happen to you, whatever. And I'm a true believer that is one thing that I realised, that wow, like, so every time if someone else is amazing, really wholeheartedly enjoy that moment for them. It's not about you, it's for them.
Fantastic. I'm just going to come back a little bit to what you were talking about earlier about exercise and meeting your friends and stuff like this, because we had a great interview a couple of days ago with Jamie Alderton, and what Jamie was talking about in his interview is that he has habits and triggers for these habits which actually get him into the space that helps him with his productivity. What do you believe that are your triggers? Because obviously it's one thing just saying, okay, yeah, I'm gonna go out and meet my friends and I'm just gonna go to the gym to make myself feel. Do you feel that to enable yourself to start to focus on the things that make you happy and work on the things that you love, you had to produce habits for yourself?
Yeah, I kind of I started putting things in what's working well for me. Reading different things, positive stuff, reading positive stuff. What do I actually want? I had to go back to the drawing board. Actually, this job's not making me happy, so therefore, what do I want? And get in control and having. I did a spider diagram. I was like, if I do this, then this. I want this, and if I do this, this will happen.
Okay.
It was just trying to focus my mind, and then I was studying for my CIPD at that time as well, like my master postgraduate. And I passed one of my modules, so I was part qualified, and I was going through my second thing, and I went, and then I even applied for a job outside of the policing.
Mm-hmm.
And I realised I don't want to work in HR. I had an interview that I don't want this job. I don't want to work in HR. That was a really wrong time to happen, but it was an epiphany moment. But it was crazy, if that makes sense.
Then I was like, I just want to cut in there. Actually, I'm going to be a little bit controversial here. It's that whole "be careful what you wish for" kind of thing, isn't it? Because you look at certain things and you think, "Oh, I could do that," and then when you go off for it, it's not what you expected it to be. I mean, what made you actually apply for a job in HR? And then, was it the role, was it the dynamic, or did you have an expectation of this is what it will be and this is what will make me happy? Why did you do that in the first place?
Well, I was working in HR and policing, so I had the experience. And HR was like working with people, making a difference in the organisation.
Okay.
So that was so I already had some experience working in there.
Okay.
So I said, okay, let's go and try using my experience outside, working in a different HR environment. But when I went to an external environment, I kind of thought it's the same job, just different organisation. It's not going to fulfil me. It's not meaty enough, and not.
So let's dissect into that. What is it that you wanted in the job? When you say it's not meaty enough, you see this. The reason I'm asking you the question is that I think we get a lot of people who either are in careers or have started up a business or wanting to start up a business, and they have these great ideas. They have this amazing abundance of passion and enthusiasm when they start. But I actually feel that what they've done is they've actually blown up a balloon of expectation, thinking that this is what it looks like, this is what it is, and this is how I'm going to do it. And they picture too far ahead. And then, unfortunately, it's like that whole proverbial, when you cross the road, are you looking at what's on the other side, or are you looking at what's in front of you? The transitions that you had to make in terms of, okay, fine, you moved away from HR, you decided it's not what you wanted to do. One, it's a tough call because you're now kind of venturing into something that perhaps you don't have so much experience in.
Yeah.
What were the most challenging aspects of actually saying that's it? I want to go on my own and I want to get out there.
It's like, I think it was definitely, I didn't jump straight in. I did step by step.
Okay.
I only did step by step. And I was like, okay, so what do I want to do instead? Part of me wanted to work in events, so I did a diploma in event management.
Okay.
But it was literally taking it. So when I said I didn't have that confidence at that time, so built on my confidence. And I chose to be at work, even though I didn't like it. I said, this provides for me this security, financial stability, and I choose to be here, not because I have to be here.
Okay.
And when you make a decision that I choose to be here because it provides for this, and this, and enables me to grow in this areas, it's a whole different ballgame.
Okay. So I suppose what we're steering. Sorry, what was that?
I think that's one thing people say. Oh, I have to work and I have to be here. Not really. You have. If you're working and then you think actually I have to pay for my mortgage, well, you're going to pay for your mortgage. That enables that you provide a roof for your family and for your children and for your wife, your husband, etc. So when you know it that way, it makes it like, okay, I'm going because there's a bigger purpose to this.
Yeah, and we were picking this up on a number of different interviews that we've been doing this week actually. But I just kind of want to slide into a little bit about motivation here, you see, because like you say, I mean, only yesterday I was at an event and someone came to me towards the end of the event, and what they said to me is that, you know, I'm currently doing, you know, I've currently got my business, but I'm also in full-time work, and you know, I can't move over to just work on what I want to work on until you know, the business is earning enough money to afford me, because I have debts and I have all this and all that. And my actual knee-jerk reaction to this, and I don't normally react, I'm a responder, was that this person may never, not that I said that to her straight away, but I said this person may never actually move into that independence of running their own business, because when is it going to be good enough to afford you and afford your bills? Now, I know you talked about, you know, the fact that you could build a sustainable income which allowed you to pay everything, and then you're kind of moving on. When, you know, what did you do to, you know, when was the decision, and how did you get to that decision where you said, well, look, I'm just going to have to keep going for this and pursue this, even if there's a risk that money's not going to be earned?
I think last year I finally decided that I went on, so cut a long story short, I went basically within policing. There was an opportunity to go to secondment, so I went on secondment. So I was still working in policing, but on secondment. I did that for about 4 years, and partway through, I decided to start working for myself so I could venture out into other opportunities. But last year I thought, actually, I'm not growing here. I need to do something different. It doesn't feel right no more. And I was looking at opportunities, and it didn't. I got a couple through, but it still didn't feel right. And I was like, I need to just give my notice in. So I gave my 3 months notice in, and then was like, bang, what the hell?
Okay, all right. How did you feel when you put your notice in? Did you feel liberated?
I felt liberated. Hell.
And then about a day later, you start shitting yourself, right?
Like a few days in, I was like, what the hell am I doing? Like, what the hell? Like, why the hell am I doing this? Okay. And then even then, but I also, and I was thinking, oh, should I stay? I could work on this project. I can do this project. But I was like, no, hang on a moment. It's time to move on. And so yeah. I left in July last year, end of July. But just before I left, someone goes to me, oh, why don't you come to the States for a bit? Like a family member of mine. And I was like, do you know what? At the beginning of the year last year, I said, I want to go to the States. But I said, work takes priority this year. And it's like, oh, work's priority. So, but when she said it, I was like, actually, that makes sense. I've got time to go to America, and I can go for longer. So I went for 6 weeks, travelled around. And I thought that kind of gave me that thing. So when people ask you when you're leaving, what are you going to do next? Instead of saying, I don't know, I said, I'm going travelling, and then I'll think after that. So you're just like a little buffer for me.
It's interesting you say that, because the reason I asked you the fact of how did you feel, it is a liberating move when you actually take that decision. But then I think self-doubt emerges into you almost instantly, because there's an empty vacuum that almost opens up in your mind and your heart. Jamie Smart, who came on Monday, who's the author of a new book called Results, he specializes in clarity and transformation as well. He says that, you know, we are pretty much victims of our thoughts and our feelings. And that's what really kind of drives us. And I kind of get the sense that you are someone that's over your journey have really been instinctive to the way you feel about something, rather than, you know, what you think about it. When you're not happy in this environment, you're like, it's time to change. Every time I'm asking you, you're talking about when I didn't feel happy, it was time to change. That time to change part is a bit that I think hundreds of people, thousands of people find very, very difficult. It's easy for us to just say, yeah, well, I just did it. But I kind of want to get under the skin of that. You know, you did take some action, but all of a sudden you kind of almost started to back yourself away again, and you start asking yourself questions of logic that, have I done the right thing? I could have done this, I could have done this, I could have done this. The fact of it is, it's done. Okay? Yeah. That's the number one part of this. And the other side of this is that what we do is we allow noise to start coming into our world again. So the fact that other people start asking, what are you going to do next? I love it that you didn't really have a full plan, but you actually started to create something which is more of a, right, well, I know for the next couple of months I'm probably going to go off traveling. And I kind of want to, you know, with the work that you do with your clients in this respect, is this something that you instill into them? How do you work with your clients? You know, what do you do when you get someone that's been kind of in a similar position, or is in a similar position to the way you were?
I kind of say to them, it's your life, your rules. Now that's something I came up recently. It's like your life, your rules, because it is hard, because it's like you do think other people are doing this. I need to look at that. I need to look at certain things, and the doubt always creeps in. Like just before I went to the States, I just said to myself, the next 6 weeks, you're switching off. I made a promise to myself, like literally, whatever will happen, it will come to you. And I noticed the pattern when I let go, and then I have an inspiration, a good idea happens and stuff like that, and something will happen naturally. But if you're constantly worrying about it, it will just create more worries.
Interesting. We're gonna take some other examples in a second. I'm gonna come back to you, but we've got a question that's coming from Gabby Ajula. I hope I've pronounced that okay. Gabby's asked, how do you work out pricing strategies in order to earn enough to show value? How would you answer that question? It's a double-ended question. So come on.
Okay. It's a good question. Well, I think someone goes to me, what feels right? Someone goes, someone goes, when you start charging someone, if you charge them £10 and you're doing X amount of work for 2 hours, and you start resenting it, then it's not enough. And it's what you value. You need to start feeling what's comfortable to you. And I think when you're starting out, I think working as a coach, I think you're like, you want to do it free, and you're like, yeah, keep doing it. But at the same time, you need to put value on yourself. So start charging people. It's like, what feels comfortable to you, and when can you charge? So I put my prices up, and I said, this is what I feel comfortable with. It's literally, the value is, I think it's what makes you feel comfortable. If you have to do a piece of work and you're not charging your full rate that you're not happy with, then that's not right.
I think it's a fantastic answer, and thank you for that. I think, honing in on, it's not just about what you're confident and you believe in, but what you believe is right and what you're happy with. Because if you're not, again, the whole purpose of what you do is making people happy in the work that they do. I suppose sometimes when it comes to pricing, we are prone to look at the market and kind of think, what's the average price that's going out there, and should we be under that or over that? Whereas you actually just blow all of that out of the window completely and said, well, I'm happy that I can charge X for the number of hours because that's what I believe my value is, right?
Yeah, because it's not like you do look at the market and just say, okay, this is what the market's charging, but well that's your research, but then you think, okay, what do I feel happy with? And that's it.
Fantastic. That's really, really good. As I say, I want to come back to a few bits and pieces, because I know there are people in the audiences that are resonating with some of your story about how why you need to switch off, and the whole concept of when you do switch off, actually some of your best things are coming into you because there's an open space there. So look, you kicked off. You decided you come back from the States. You're now I'm no longer going to go for dodgy HR jobs or I'm going to stick two fingers up to the system or whatever it is. And at the end of the day, you've come in. I wouldn't say you've got the clarity, but you've got the drive, and you've got this, let me go and see where my the journey is going to take me next type of mentality. What were your struggles getting started? What were your struggles?
When I decided, I think, what do I want to do? Coaching, because coaching, I've been training up in that for the last couple of years before I left. And then I kind of thought, when I left America, that wasn't what I was going to do when I come back with something different. But when I came back, a few things happened. It was I had a few conversations with people, and something clicked for me. So it was like, I want to do coaching. Let's put my full energy and effort into doing that. At the beginning, it was really easy because I had no resistance. I had no one telling me that, oh my god, this is wrong. It felt right. Everything kind of opened up. I had to get my website opened up again, and everything, my domain name, and it all kind of were really easy. Everything kind of naturally flowed. But when I started thinking, oh my god, I need to get clients, and when you start thinking with your mind, and honestly, that's when it kind of starts hitting home. That's the resistance. That's when the struggle starts happening. because.
So what are you struggling for? Because, you know, when you think about your motivation when you start, you want to make a difference, you know, you want to make this impact, you want to change people's lives. This is the motivations that you're working on. All of a sudden, do you feel the motivation changes the fact that, holy crap, I need to get a client because I need to get paid? So, you know, and what did you do in your own self? Did you realize that motivation had changed? Because obviously the value proposition that you're doing is always going to remain, but the motivation of what you're doing in your business has changed. So I kind of want to get to, what did you do to kind of overcome that part of it and think, oh my God, client, because it is very scary. You know, you are one small dot in a very big sea. And don't get me wrong, over the last 5 years, the coaching industry has just exploded. We've got umpteen millions of coaches. And I'm going to come to another question about this industry in a second. But I just want to know, what did you do when in your mind, you know, it was continually questioning, where are you going to get your clients from?
You have to question yourself why you're doing it. You really have to question why you're doing it, what's your unique selling point. And it's a journey. It's a journey that you're going on, and no one's going to make it. You're not going to know from the beginning. You're going to like hone it in. Like I think one of the great things this year has been about it's accelerated learning.
Learning.
That's what it is. You can read the book, but if you sit there and don't share your challenges and struggles with anyone, it's going to take longer. So the one thing I learned is from my previous work is that networking is amazing, building relationships. So I went for networking events, contacted colleagues that are doing different things, working for them, finding out what their struggles or what their advice was. So when I came to that brick, I could thinking, okay, I will recognise that. So, but this is how it's working for me. How can I overcome this for me? It was literally like, so I think one thing is for this year is really have a good network and just keep meeting people and connecting with people that are right for you, because not everyone will be helpful to you and you'll connect with, but having a good support system.
Yeah, I just want to come in here a bit about this, because what you're talking about very much so is the fact that I talk about a thing called the PPF factor. This is about the elasticity of your mindset. There are 3 things that affect it: pain, panic, and fear. Okay, that's the PPF factor. Now we won't talk about pain for a little while, but let's talk about panic to a certain extent, which is where you kind of lose control. What you actually just said about where you were going with this is, rather than actually panicking about where the clients are coming from, what you did is you immersed yourself into, okay, find a book and turn certain systems. But the most important thing that I want audiences that are listening to understand about this is what Parwinder's done is not just followed the rule of the book. She's actually systemized it for herself, made that system work for her. So what networking events that you decided to go to for yourself, who you're going to network with, understand that yes, there are some right and some wrong in that respect, but it's not like, okay, A, B, and C is a multi-million pound earning or dollar earning coach, and because they do it this way, I've got to do it the same way. Is that true to the fact that you are very much personalizing your systems?
Yeah, and I think year on now, that's how I think I realised that's how I'm doing it, because you have to do what feels right. Because if you follow someone else's their strategy and it doesn't feel right for you, then that's not going to work. You're going to soon flare up. And it's that learning, being openness to learn. And you have that moment of panic. You think, oh my God, what am I going to do? But I was under no illusion that if I need to go work in Sainsbury's or working anything, go and stack shelves again or go and do anything, I would be happy to go and do that. But I also realised that my dream is I want to work for myself and make a sustainable business, and it is just persisting at it and finding different avenues and ways to do it.
Okay, so with persistence, there is also resistance. We say that in the fact that there are certain things that you get to and you think, oh, I just can't do that, or I just won't do that. Have you had those kind of instances and situations within your business? Have any of your clients demonstrated those? And what have you done to overcome the can'ts and won'ts? And what is it that you practice into your clients when it comes to can't and won't?
When it comes to can't and won't, well, now it's like when someone says I can't do that, I'm like, really? You can't do that? You choose not to do that.
Are you that calm? Are you really that calm when you say it? Really?
Really? I use this exercise called the bullshit list. Excuse my language.
Oh, brilliant! Tell me about it. Don't worry, you're on the League of Disruptors. Anything flows.
Bullshit list is like, so when someone says I want to work for myself, I want to get a new job, I want to do this, and I'm like, okay, let's list all the reasons. Well, that's my outcome. Well, let me tell you all the reasons on why you can't have it. So they said, oh, I'm not good enough. I'm not like someone like I'm not a good partner. Oh, I haven't got enough experience. And so we literally list all the reasons. Oh, I'm too fat. You know, like I'm scared of the unknown. And I'm like, okay, so tell me where you failed at something. And when they go back to everything in their life, they haven't failed at anything. Most people haven't failed at anything. The only thing you kind of fail at is your driving test. And then, but even then, like I passed fourth time, but it doesn't matter. I passed it. So most people don't actually haven't got an example where they failed at something.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I tell people is, in NLP, one of the prepositions is feedback. There's no such word as failure. There's only feedback.
Okay.
Saying you're not good enough. Like another one, you're not good enough. They say, okay, you're not good enough. Well, who says you're not good enough? And tell me an example where you were good enough.
Okay.
So literally work on themselves, because what we get is what we focus on. If you're always saying to yourself, oh, it's too scary, I'm not good enough, I'm not this, I'm not that, you're going to find ways, your mind's going to find ways to prove that to you.
And okay, this is interesting. Your mind will find ways to prove your theory right, because you're talking, you know, there is a saying that says that you spend the same amount of energy talking yourself in as you do to talk yourself out of things. So you might as well talk yourself into things. The thing is here, is that there are people probably listening to this or watching this who have been in that environment where, as much as they want to talk themselves into it, there's always something niggling at them to say, you know, thinking, oh my god. So I mean, like, so, you know, whether your first time going on stage and your heart's fluttering, you know, you've got that flutter going on right the way through to when you just said, yeah, I handed in my notice and then thought, oh shit. Okay, so what is your practice? What is the kind of habit that you would recommend people to do? I mean, the fact that they keep saying I can't, what is it that they have to do to make themselves turn around and start saying I can?
It's finding out their why.
Their why.
Their why. Because you need to have a big enough driver to go forward. Like for me, my thing is I want my business to succeed, and I've got aims. And so every time I came this year, against resistance and struggles and challenges, I was like, okay, how can I overcome this? Being a coach as well, like if you don't work on yourself, you can't tell no one for shit. You need to be open to
oh hell yes. I'm going to cut you right there, because you know what, I'm really frustrated with this, and I'm quite angry about this, that, you know, that the industry has been flooded. Now I think it's great, the fact that, you know, people want to get out there and help other people and create transformation. I've spoken about it before on different interviews, outside even of the League of Disruptors. There should be an ethical code of conduct in the way that you work with clients, because they're pretty much putting their life in your hands to a certain extent. They're kind of looking to you. But I get this sense that the industry has been so awashed and people have had such negative experiences that it makes it even, I wouldn't say it's not making it tougher, but we get stroked with the same paintbrush as those that have done it wrong. What is your take on the industry at the moment? What's your frustration about the coaching industry at the moment? And what is it that you're doing to overcome that?
I think it is funny. I think, oh my god, there's so many people out there doing it. And I've got a Twitter chat tomorrow morning at 11 o'clock called #Coaching Hour, and we're talking about qualifications and no qualifications, because you can, and I believe that coaching is a service to other people, but at the same time you have to learn and grow within yourself, because as you grow you can help your clients, and you're not making clients replicates of yourself. You're helping them achieve their goals, and that can be in the organisation or individually. Is that openness? You can't say it's my way or the highway, and you need to be open with each other. I think there should be more people talking to each other, having dialogue. I was in a coaching supervision group this year, working with other coaches and sharing best practices, what's working, what isn't working. I think that was amazing.
What was amazing about it?
Is sharing the challenges you've had, getting experience of, like, because these coaches, everyone in the coaching group was a lot more experienced than I was. And when I first joined, I was thinking, oh my God, can I really add value in this group? But then I got the feedback was that you're a different generation, so you add something else. But so combine the two together, that's the best practice.
Okay, and with that, do you apply some of that kind of theory into the work that you do with your clients? Because I know you said to you know, your clients are pretty much their own worst enemy in the fact that they talk themselves out of things, or they really do desire something but feel like they're not good enough to get there, or as I said, they're kind of ball and chains down, very much on the struggles of making ends meet. Something that I'm going to be talking about later on this evening on my Facebook Live, about the struggles we have to make ends meet, because there are people in this world who are wanting to work on the things that they love. They've made that kind of push just like you have, but they are struggling. They're struggling to make ends meet. They can help other people achieve what they want, but they can't do it for themselves. Why is that? Why do you think that is?
I think it's probably, like, if they make struggle, that comes out to me, I'm going to start doing coaching again. If they've got a belief about money and they think it's right to be struggling. Some people, I think that's what it is sometimes, is you have a belief about what it's been struggling and what isn't, what's going on. I, like, with myself and stuff, I've not said I'm just doing coaching. I'm open to doing other things. So I'm working with other people, I've got contracts working with different people. So coaching is something I love, and where I can add value, I'll completely do it and put my whole heart and soul into it. But I'm open to other avenues on how I can do it and how I can add value to people's lives.
Okay. No, that's interesting. The fact that you're open to other things, I mean, it's one thing that we do talk about in terms of as professionals, that we stay in our lanes, you know, and really become best purveyors of what we can deliver. But what dynamics would you add? Apart from doing having your one-to-one clients, I suppose, would you be considering things like masterminds or group type of programming or speaking, or where is it? Where do you see your agency moving to?
My agency will be. I'm a massive coordinator. I'm an organizer. Like I can organize anything. So working, like training and HR is my expertise as well. And then coaching, so using my expertise and what I do know and helping people, because it's not like if someone goes to me, I need help with this, and it's not necessarily coaching, but you can kind of think, actually I can add value to that. Where can you add it? You know, when people say their dream job, sometimes their dream job is not in a box.
Okay.
Create it.
Create your dream job, people. That's what Parwinder's telling you. Do you know what? Just create your dream job.
Yeah, like you don't know, because it may mean that you can do volunteering or something and then get 10 hours work of doing something that you love doing, that gives you, because I met a makeup artist once and I said, well, why don't you do makeup artist full time? She goes, no, she goes, it only fulfills this much of my needs. She goes, but I love accounting. So she spent Monday to Friday accounting, and then when she wanted to do makeup, she could do that at the weekend. So she had a dream.
Okay.
She can find it.
Interesting. I've got a great question that's coming from Celinda here. Hi Celinda, I haven't seen you for ages, so I hope you're well. She's asking you, what are the biggest challenges and issues you have helped a client overcome?
Themselves. It's like getting over themselves is what's the biggest thing. Like, I'm working with a client now that wants to do half the year in this country and half the year abroad, and so she's just fixing systems in place. Is just changing her mindset on certain things that's moving forward. Like, oh, I can't do this, or I can do this. I'm not good at this. Just going through all those things and seeing things in a different way. Another client is who didn't like their jobs, and they had so much going on in his life, but it was just working through them and just getting rid of those beliefs so he can move forward and just have confidence.
Yeah, so in particular, I mean, what we're getting from this is you are, I mean, obviously with your HR background, you are very much a people's person. It's not the outcome and the results of a business or whatever it is. That belongs to the person. For you, you're not. Is it fair to say you're actually not even developing the person? You're actually disrupting them. And what I mean by that is you're actually shaking all that shit out of them, basically, which is stopping them from achieving what they want to. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, I think that's a good apt way of saying it. Because it's like when you're looking at your own development, it is a journey. It's like you do it step by step, and you just need what's stopping me from going to that one level. Okay, I've got to level 1. How do I get to level 2? What's stopping me there? But it's never. You think you're not going to get to 1 to 10 just like that. You take it step by step, and there will be stuff that comes up, personal, professional. But if you're on the journey of like unlocking it and open to unlocking it, it makes the journey easier. And life will happen to you. Life will happen. Like people come and go, but the more equipped you get, it's easier to deal with, and it just makes it. You think actually, oh my God, I'm going for my dreams and what I want to do, and live it on your terms.
This is, I mean, yes, it's brilliant. It's brilliant when that, and I suppose, that feeling you get of excitement, but there's also this, it's almost as if you're, the top tip of the roller coaster that's about to go, and you can see that, it's kind of edging itself. I'm trying to kind of get the audiences to visualize the feeling of, wow, I'm finally working on my dreams and I'm working on the thing I love. And, we can go away with the theories, with the euphoria of it. But the reality also needs to kick in that you have to work. It's not going to be laid out for you. And this whole roller coaster of expectation that goes up and down. What do you do with your clients to help them manage that?
It's literally make a plan. It's not having the step by step. Even with myself, it's not going to be instantaneously. It's just one step at a time. What you do today will result in for tomorrow. So it's literally thinking that way. Is that the results for today are not for today, they're for tomorrow. But you need to take action today. So
in essence, I like sort of messing around with what people do. Basically, it's just what I do. I just my disruptive nature. I can never conform in that respect. I guess what you're doing here is you're working with them to say, go and tell your future, your version of tomorrow, this is what you've got to do today. Because hindsight is a wonderful thing that we say, but in essence, what you're actually engaging into your clients is going and saying, look, build your plan, look into the future, but work out a way where your future version of you is coming back to you today and saying, if you don't do this, you're not going to get there. Is that the kind of stuff that you're working?
You do work on that because it means that you need to clear the stuff out of the way so you can work on what steps are you going to take, what actions, this is again for the last couple of months. This is one I've been using. I love this at the moment. It's working for me. That 1% change.
Oh, well, I talk about that all the time. I just say 1% change in your attitude equals 100% change in your results. So you're right on board with that. So okay, all right. Let's flip the script a little bit because I'm pumping your ego up as we go along in this interview. I'm saying how wonderful Parwinder is. Basically, I want to know about what angers you the most about the as much as you love the work that you do, there must be certain things there, that's what you're passionate about. And I always talk about the fact that to succeed in whatever it is that you want, you've got to have passion and anger. So I want to know what angers you most about the environment and the industry and that you work on or work in. And I also want to sort of have a sort of a little bit of a biopsy on what will you do with customers that refuse to change their attitude or their mentality or their mindset? So don't answer the second question because I want the first one. So what angers you in the industry? Then I want to know what will you do with clients that just don't get it.
Angers you is people kind of making replicates of themselves, telling you you're doing your life wrong. I think people telling you your life is wrong and you need to change it. If you don't change it, it's going to be result in create chaos for you. I don't believe that. I think you're just helping them to create what they want. So you're not even the person doing the work. They are. You just ask the questions and they just say, okay. It's also what angers me about the industry is that the selling of it.
Okay.
That's the selling, and people oversell or they think you need to have this and this is going to be the magic pill. And I think coaching and doing personal development and moving if you're helping with a new business owner, there's some struggles they face. It's just overcoming them so they can clear the way to achieve what they want to achieve. But it is one step at a time. You're not doing everything for them. you're just helping them. You're enabling them to do everything they want.
Okay, so I like that word, enabling. Yeah.
So selling part of it is like, oh my God, you need to have this, and this is how your life's going to be transformed. It isn't. It's just like, this is one process and one step. And I think you need to have rapport with your clients. I think it's being okay with the fact that you're not going to work with every single person in the world, in the industry. There's people that you like you and you connect with, that you're going to work with them, and they're going to work with you.
I mean, within your business and the attitude of your business, what do you do with people that don't get you, don't like you?
Sometimes it depends on my mood. It's fine. It is, honestly, in that sense. If people don't connect with you, then that's fine, because then they're not going to get the results. Because when I trained up my coaching staff, if I don't trust my coach and don't get on with my coach, why the hell would I work with them? And I have had that choice. I really oh my God, if I don't respect you or challenge you, there's something connecting, I'm not going to work with you. And that's how I want my clients to be with me. They see value working with me, and if they don't see that value working with me, then that's fine. And then asking those questions if they want to change, because I did have a client that was like, let's keep having sessions and stuff. And I said, what changes are you making so when our coaching stops? And she was like, it didn't feel right. I said, look, maybe you need to go back to the drawing board and figure out what it is and stuff. And if you're ready, then come back to me. I think I've learned that it's no problem.
Yeah, I think it's important, because at the end of the day, like you say, you're an upgrader and an enabler. But if the components aren't in the right place, it doesn't enable you to do what you're set out to do. Sometimes we need to craft particular tools in terms of helping people with their behavior and their mindset first, and then start progressing them through. But I suppose the reason I ask you the question is I do feel like sometimes it's in the industry people take it as a necessity to take every client on, thinking that they'll be able to handle everything, and you almost become, you almost dilute your effectiveness with people. And then at the end of the day, if you are a people's person or a people's developer and you're not developing them, then you're not really doing anything apart from saturating the market with poor coaching, I guess.
What coaches? Because one thing is that you're going to have different coaches for different people. Like what works with me and works with different clients. What is brilliant, but what works for another person may not be the right fit. And I think it's, as a coaches, we need to be open to that and work together more.
Yeah.
So we can say, actually, that client's not for me, but I think they're the perfect fit for you. This is the coach to go for that if you want this done. So it's being okay with that.
That's good. We've got about 10 minutes, guys. So if anyone's out there listening and they want to ask Parwinder a question, you've got 10 minutes to ask the question, because trust me, after 10 minutes she's going to disappear and think, oh my God, what have I just said? While we're waiting for some questions to come through, Gabby's come back and just said, Pa, you're so inspiring, just your social media has helped. So obviously your presence is creating waves. I want to come into things about consciousness. Are you aware of how much you impact people and how many people you're impacting?
No, I do. No, in all honesty, I don't, because I think it's just putting the best version of myself out there, and if I can help people, then I will happily do it. If that makes sense.
Fantastic. So I've got a question for you in the process of, for those who are out there thinking they're stuck on that hamster wheel, that they're not in something that they're doing something they totally don't enjoy, or they believe they're on the pursuit of something that they love. What are the tips? What tips do you have for people in those kind of positions or situations?
Take some time out. Literally take some time out, and just start. If you're on the hamster wheel and you're feeling quite stressed about the hamster wheel, there's no point jumping in from one frying pan to another. Literally take some time out and give yourself a break, because to the point, acknowledge that the job that you were doing, you loved it at one point or another. There was a reason why you're doing. Acknowledge that. Don't beat yourself up. And that's one thing. You need to be thankful for what you do have. And I think, don't think, oh my God, this is the worst thing in my life, and then jump into another frying pan. And then same with if you keep doing the same things will happen. Just take a step and stop on the hamster wheel, take a break. Okay, what do I want to do? What?
And is that reflection? So I take it to get off the wheel on the premise of, obviously I'm not saying quit your job and then start reflecting, but it's a situation to stop beating yourself up about it and actually, like you did, perhaps take a vacation or a trip. Traveling is actually a very fantastic thing to do, because you're actually in a non-biased environment. You can really learn to discover things. So when you're discovering new cultures and new ways, it's actually opening your mind in different ways. I think others could have things like audiobooks, Jamie was talking about the fact that he has his morning ritual of going for a walk with his favorite audiobook, and away he goes. He gets himself into the zone. So one thing is to kind of stop the sort of procrastinating in your head and start thinking about what you want there. The other side of it is, I suppose you've mentioned in the past about your plan and stuff like this. What do you do? What's your tips on retaining or maintaining the excitement levels that you can get? Because people get very excited very quickly, and they're like, "What?" I see that. I'm like, "Slow down." But what's your tips on that?
One client I had who had her own business was to just measure her success. We had I think she created a milestone calendar, like a milestone pick. Every time she hit a milestone, she celebrated it. So I think it's having rewards, like rewarding yourself, or giving yourself presents. That's what I do. When I left my job last year, like when I left Police and stuff, I went to St. Lucia.
Oh, I love this. I left my job, so I gave myself a gift. I took myself to St. Lucia because I left my job. I like this. Reward yourself. It doesn't have to be big rewards. It could be little things. But what is this? This is a token gesture to say you're doing something for yourself, and this is a recognition to yourself that you're getting there. So containing your excitement through spreading it over and giving yourself little justified rewards. I think that's amazing. What do you do when it's the other way around? Let's say you're beating yourself. Well, that's obvious. What do you do when you say, "Yeah, I've got to get this done," and you never get it done?
I think it's like asking yourself why. What's stopping you? What's in your way? Like, there probably may be a reason. If you're some people say, "Oh, I can't do it. I just haven't got time to do it." Sometimes the task is too big, or sometimes you're just a bit scared of doing it for something quite new. So again, just break it down. Like, why am I doing this? And just literally start taking small steps. What makes you feel comfortable? Because it's not gonna be perfect. Do you know what? The one thing I realised, nothing is ever perfect.
Well, I think perfection doesn't really exist as an environment. My opinion on this is perfection is a moment in time where everything kind of assembles itself, but as soon as that moment passes, the landscape recreates itself. So you've got to, they say it's about the pursuit of happiness. Okay, and I'm going to go completely opposite. The way I do things, if I've got people that are not happy, I say don't work on your pursuit of happiness to work towards becoming happy. Start focusing on things that are unhappy. If you can take the things out of your life that are unhappy, then you'll be happy. Am I talking a load of gibberish here? I don't know.
You kind of think, like I said, what you get is what you focus on. If you always see unhappy things and stuff, like, do you know when you want a car, there's a particular car you want, you see that car all the time.
Yeah.
You need to start being grateful for what you do have in your life, and then things that are not okay in your life, like I said, there's no such thing as failure, there's only feedback. So if something isn't working out, what can you do different next time? Like public speaking, most people think, "Oh, I need to be an amazing public speaker." Yeah, that's fantastic, but you're not going to be like go on TED Talks and speak like that from day one.
No.
And how you guys do it is practice. And even with coaching and anything you do in your business or with is one step at a time. You need to start doing it. Then when you start doing it, you think, actually that's not working. Let's tweak to that. Let's be open to that. Be the learner. Never be the person that knows it all. Be the learner. I think one thing I realised that I did this a couple of years. I thought, oh my god, everything in my life is perfect. Oh my god, this is how I want it to be. Every almost been got pulled underneath the rug underneath me. It means that you should learn something. So now I take the approach that you're a learner, so you're learning everything, and then as you're learning, you can keep on improving.
That's fantastic. So what are you working on now? What's the future for you and your business? And also let the audiences know how people can get in touch with you.
You can get in touch with me on Facebook. I'm working with Women with Voices, so we're doing like this business life skill thing on a monthly basis, which is talking about how to overcome stuff. So last month we were talking about personal branding. On the 6th of December, we're at Google Campus in London on about procrastinating and how it affects your business. So we've got some really fantastic speakers.
Do you have any links or anything like that which you can put on, provide us?
Yeah. That's monthly basis. We've got some amazing lineups coming up. Next year is like doing more online stuff, working with organisations, because I do believe if you've got an engaged workforce, you've got a productive workforce.
Engaged and productive, some of my favourite words.
You can have both. You don't need one or the other.
I like that.
We've got some interesting stuff lined up next year. I do more coaching and just taking where my life will lead me, and more travelling next year as well, hopefully.
Fantastic. So I want you to leave with one line of advice, one statement thing, which will just kind of push this out into the stratosphere of everything that we've been talking about today. You know, straight from the heart. What do you want to say to the audience that are listening to you today?
If there's something in your life that you need to change and want to change, just take a small action today. That's all you need to take. One action, 1% change. It will start adding up, and then and it's just building yourself up. You don't need to take you don't need to quit your job. You don't need to do anything drastic, but just take one step. Because if you're not in charge of your life, then who else is?
Fantastic. Well, on behalf of Enterprise Lab and League of Disruptors Show, Parwinder, thank you very much for coming on. I really appreciate your time and your insights. Some of the comments that have been coming up is people really enjoyed the feedback and the interview that you've had. Please do put your links into the feed afterwards. So Linda has just come back saying wishing you the great success and happy travels, and it's been a great pleasure to meet you. So you've got some fans building up here as well. And listen, best of luck with everything that you're doing, and if there's anything that we here at Enterprise Lab can help you with, come and let us know.
Thank you. Thanks very much for having me.
You're very welcome. Okay guys, just before we wrap up, we've got another one on at 9 o'clock this evening UK time, where I've got Joss Agua from Australia, all the way from Australia, that's going to be coming on to talk about creating marketing campaigns with flair. It's not a boring digital kind of thing. Joss, he's like my brother from another mother. You'll see why when we come on screen. We almost look alike. Other than that, if you're interested in coming on the show yourself, check out enterpriselab.co.uk/LOD. It's already in the link. All you've got to do is fill out the form, and we can try and get you on the show. But once again, Parwinder, thank you very much for your time and your insights. My name is Ketan Makwana, and this has been the League of Disruptors Show.